And when I came home from the military, life was only about 3 things: cocaine, sex, and government checks. That was it.
Throughout our journey at Man on 365, we've met people who started from the bottom, achieve incredible success. Their stories teach us that everyone can overcome challenges. Your past doesn't define your future. Hard work pays off. Today, we are proud to introduce one of those inspiring people, Shaquem Anderson. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, my brother? First and foremost, I'd like to greet each and every one of y'all with the highest universal greeting and respect of peace.
Right.
It's a blessing to be here. I remember way back when I wasn't allowed nowhere.
Right.
So it's a blessing to be welcome to someone's establishment.
I appreciate you coming, man. Before we get started, I want to say to my boy G5,
what up, G?
A little under the weather. Man, I'm praying everything works out. You get better, my boy. I appreciate everything you done for me, man, with this Man of 365, man. I love you, boy.
Brilliance.
It was a scripture. What was that scripture?
The scripture was Romans 7:19. Why that? What does it really mean to you? Why you refer to that scripture?
First and foremost, that scripture was written by. That was something Apostle Paul put into play. So it's like God's law versus man's law. So you have to understand, right? In this world, we deal with 2 people that you're going to have to deal with for the rest of your life. Yeah. That's the inner you and the outer you.
Right.
So it's like influence. So when you're trying to get your life together or you're trying to change, right? There are outside influences in the universe. There are obstacles that's out there that's going to stop you, try to stop you. There's a lot of pitfalls. When we talk about obstacles, things that we need to avoid, most obstacles come with a name.
Right.
So that means you got to eliminate some people out of your life.
Oh, man, that's tough, yeah.
So when the Apostle Paul was talking about it, he referred to as people turning their lives over to Christ on a religious aspect.
Okay. Yeah.
So a lot of us, when we change our life, we go jump in onto a religious zeal first. But you have to understand that wherever we go, whatever we try to do, we coming with garbage.
Right.
We coming with a bag of garbage. So
baggage. Mm-hmm.
That's what that verse is pertaining to. You want to do right. The inner you wants to do right. You know what's right from wrong, but that outside influence.
Right. You mean you referring to the flesh and the spirit?
There you go.
Man's Finest Barbershop. We the first line of defense in our neighborhood, man. We got to get the families back together. We counsel men. We counsel the women as well. We here for the community, and we here for the families as well as the kids, Fatherless kids, motherless kids, divorced spouses, guys that's having problems with child support. Man's Finest Barbershop, once again, 6842 North 50th Street, Tampa, Florida, 33610. We also have a booking app. It's called Man's Finest Barbershop.booksy.com. We're on Facebook and IG. Y'all go on there and follow us, man, and come on up here where y'all welcome. We love y'all, man. We love our community. It's a family affair, baby, because it takes a village.
I see in your book you say 1,000 miles begins with the first step.
That's right.
How does that reflect your journey in life? And I guess we can start from here.
First and foremost, I had to be a willing participant in my own recovery.
Okay.
I had to show up for me. Stop pointing the finger. Why this? My mom this, my dad this, whoever. So that 1,000 feet, that 1,000 steps versus that 1 step, I had to put the first step. Once I put the first step forward, then the journey begins.
That's the part where you stop blaming.
There you go.
Oh man, I can relate.
Because here's the hit, right? My best thinking got me to where I was. It wasn't you. It wasn't the kilo of coke. It wasn't the alcohol. It wasn't the prison. It wasn't the women. It was my thought process. me thinking that I can always get over. Disrespecting authority. That's how I ended up in prison. See, when you disrespect authority, you find yourself under authority.
That's real. That's real.
So it's just like change. When we talk about change, everybody looks for this big, glorious definition of change. Change is real simple. Change only means do the opposite of what you used to do. That's it. It's maintaining the change. It's maintenance.
Right.
You drive your car, you got to do maintenance on it every day.
Right.
You ain't gonna just buy a car and just drive it.
Tear it up.
But a lot of times, we want to do the maintenance on the outside. Because I can dress this thing up real good. Trust me, I can.
Show it off.
I could put the Monty shoes on, the gator shoes, the hats, everything. But the inside is like a brand new garbage can.
Right.
And when you buy a brand new garbage can, it looks pretty because it's brand new until you put the garbage on the inside of it.
Yeah.
It's dirty. So it's like you're walking around with a brand new suit on, brand new pair of gaiters on, you got the hat on, you got the jewels on, but you dirty on the inside.
Right.
That's hard now.
So, I was reading your book, and it started when you went to the Army.
Pretty much.
Could you reflect on that a little bit? How?
Well, the Army taught me 3 things. How to shine some boots, how to buff a floor, and how to get up early in the morning.
Okay.
Live the structure.
And how to drink. That's all we did. But I started dipping and dabbling into some other things.
Okay. So would you say the drink kind of was like the gateway? Was that the beginning?
Today I can say that. I can honestly say that it was the drink for me. Because I didn't like feeling drunk. I ain't like that. So I had to graduate from the alcohol. I graduated to cocaine.
You went straight from alcohol to cocaine?
Yes, sir.
No weed?
Pass the weed. Huh?
Pass the weed. That coke had me feeling like I was the coolest thing in America.
Oh, man. Wow.
And I fell in love with it.
Wow.
I fell in love with it. And that was it. I ain't want no relationship with no woman, no nothing. You didn't look good to me no more. This cocaine looked good.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So
That's how it was for me.
that's a powerful drug to make you.
Yes. Things. Cocaine, sex, and government checks. That was it. That's all I knew. That's all I knew. As far as getting into it,
Yeah.
you have to understand, like, I'm a 60s baby, early 60s baby. 63 I was born. So back then, as we would always hear, cocaine was a rich white man's high.
Right. That's what I thought.
And everybody was doing it. Our culture seen a way to make money off of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried to sell it, but I became my best customer. So it was like, I remember going to, I should like the older women. They would dress up, they were the barmaids, and I come up in there, and they invited us to their house to play cards after the bar had closed.
Right.
And everybody was sitting around sniffing coke. I'm like, what part of the game is this?
They sniffed, they were using.
And I tried it.
Oh, man.
And fell in love. And I ain't divorced that girl till like 20 years later.
So the girls turned you on to the girl.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but, I always heard that, a little powder never really, you can function with that. When was the turning point?
The turning point, meaning that when did it get bad?
Yeah, when did it get bad?
When I looked in the mirror and I was looking like, damn it, I'll bite you.
You got that
I thought, listen, I thought I was gaining weight. I was losing weight. And my mom used to tell me, boy, you don't look good. What's going on with you? I wouldn't go to work no more. The streets was my job.
Right.
That was my job.
And this was off the powdered cocaine?
Oh, no. By then, I done graduated and started chefing it up and Rockmaster Scott.
Changing form. Yeah.
It got so bad out there for me. One thing about me, I like to talk about me because it's my story.
Right.
And I just keep it real about who I am today and where I come from. In order to help somebody else, I must keep it real about where I've been at.
Facts.
And, we started cooking it up. See, it wasn't no crack then. It was called freebasing.
I'm sorry.
Right.
I heard my folks talk about that, man. Before the crack era, it was freebase.
It was freebasing.
Yeah, I heard my folks talk about that.
It was freebasing. And back then they had some cocaine, and you hit that thing one time, you're going to sit back.
That's when it was real.
For hours. Pure. Yeah. So, it took me, I was getting addicted to it, but I didn't understand the addiction part. And see, when you get addicted to something, whether it be drugs, money, women, sex, it's like a disease. Right. Not a physical disease. So when you break that word disease down, you have 2 syllables, dis and ease.
Oh, wow. That's okay. Yeah.
So when I start to say I'm feeling some type of way, which I don't know how that feels because it's not a feeling, that feeling is uncomfortable. So when you don't know how to identify with that, I need to pick up that crack because I don't like how I'm feeling. But once I pick up that crack, it don't even matter because I'm in a whole nother zone.
Yeah.
And saying this is what people don't understand about drugs, alcohol. And at the end of the day, to break it all the way down to the lowest form, all it is a little baby, the little boy in me was crying. Right. And all I wanted was a hug.
Oh, man, that's a real one, man, because even those that are addicted to substance kind of just want that hug,
And that's all it is. But see, as a man, we were brought up to be tough.
Right.
Man ain't supposed to cry. Mm-hmm. We don't tell men that we love men. I cry if I'm watching a football game today. For real. I will.
You in tune.
If I was sitting there talking with my mate one day about how I met my sister. And I stopped. And I started tearing up. And she said, it's okay. And I wasn't ashamed of none of that because what it is what I found out about crying is crying gives your heart permission to open up.
Right.
That's what crying does. It frees you.
Yeah.
So it's just like I'm sharing about my past with drugs. Basically, what I'm doing is I'm exposing it because I've been off of drugs over 19 years. I ain't drug proof. I ain't arrived nowhere. Because as soon as I think I'm better than somebody else, guess what? I'm going to find myself by myself.
Right.
Stuck up in somebody's corner, smoking again.
That's real.
So I keep that in the forefront of me.
That's real. So, man, while I was reading your book, I noticed that a couple of times you had to go back and forth to court. And you always had this mind frame that you was going to do better. You was going to change. You was going to get out and make the new you come to light. But it seemed like you kind of keep slipping back in that hole. Like, what was it?
That's what we call reservations. A reservation is, I'm going to say whatever it is to not go to that county to get back out there in them streets.
I feel you.
So let me share this story with you. This is a true story. It's in the book. I'm going in front of the judge, and I was a great manipulator.
I seen that from the book.
Great manipulator.
So, and I always had a thing, if it's a woman judge, I got you.
You that confident in court?
Yes. Trust me when I tell you.
Yes, sir.
See, when I was coming down the street, I had the money shoes on with no heels on them, suit on with the belt wrapped around me twice trying to hold the pants up. So I'm in court. The judge said, Mr. Anderson, I stood up. I'm here, Your Honor. She said, you have some serious charges here. And I was like, Your Honor, I'm guilty, but I ain't ready to go to jail. She said, you have a seat. So I sat on down, and they heard all the other cases. And like the fourth case after that, she called me up. And I said, Your Honor, you can give me time all you want. I can do time. I said, but them people up there in that jail ain't going to give me the help I need. Right. I need a program. I'm an addict. And she looked at me, she said, well, what you want me to do? I said, I want you to give me an outpatient program and let me go home. Whoa. And she looked at the prosecutor, because it ain't the judge that's trying to give you the time. It's the prosecutor.
Right.
And the prosecutor, I guess he was so impressed by what I was saying, he nodded his head, yeah. So she said, okay, but I'm going to have the probation department monitor this. You have a seat back there till the probation come up to see you. I sat on in the back, close to the back door. She heard 2 more cases. I was in the wind. I was gone.
Out of there.
Because I wasn't ready to change. Bottom line is, the exact nature is, I wasn't ready to change.
Right.
That's a reservation. I still had reservation.
I tell you what, you good at manipulation, because you had me over here thinking you was finna do it.
That's what manipulation
Yes.
is I wasn't ready to change. So one thing about change, you can't change for your mother, your daughter, your wife, the dog, the cat, the judge, nobody. Yeah. Change must come from within. Mm-hmm. Until you get sick and tired of being sick and tired of yourself, then the change will come about.
Yeah. Right. So, like your process to becoming the man you are today, elaborate on that for me.
To thy own self be true.
Yes.
I had to be true to myself. I think what happened for me was my upbringing. My dad wasn't in my life. And we'll talk about that part later. But I had a structural family. My house wasn't dysfunction. The only time the house was dysfunction when I came in the house. My mom gave us everything we ever wanted. My grandparents they had. So it just got to the point. So when I got to that point where, I used to have these visions of my upbringing and was like, I know I'm better than this. Because my parents, they never drank or drug. My mom ain't never ran the streets. So I couldn't use that as a crutch to say, well, my mom did it. My dad did it, so I'm going to do it. No. I just made that conscious decision that one last time when they locked me up in Jersey. No, I was in Pennsylvania, Reading, Pennsylvania. I caught a case. And they had this program. I was so high when they brought me into jail, right? And I called my mate. I said, tell my mom I'm in jail. Tell her don't try to bail me out. I need to think this one through. This was my last run in jail. So I sobered up, and I wasn't going in the weight room. I was going to the law library. Because I want to find out what you can do to me and what you can't do to me. Right. So I learned the law while I was in there. And they had this thing called drug court. And I told them I want drug court. I'm an addict. And I was in an all-white town. And they hurried up and gave it to me. Because if I failed it, they're going to give me 10 years.
They were looking to hang you.
Right. Yeah, because I had assault on a police officer.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, they wanted to.
Yeah.
So, I didn't care. I had it in my heart. Whatever you do, you better do it while you got me. Because you ain't going to see me no more. And I meant that.
Yeah.
They put me on drug court. Drug court is for 2 years. I had to come to court every Monday for 2 years. Right? So, my first day out, threw the suit on, I got the gaiters on, got my briefcase with nothing in it like I was a lawyer. They called everybody's name, and the judge turned around and said, put a warrant out for Mr. Anderson. And I stood up, I said, I'm here, Your Honor. And he looked, he said, you're Mr. Anderson? I said, yes, Your Honor. And he said, well, you dress better than anybody in the courtroom. And my case manager, who was a brother, he's like, yo, keep doing that. Every time I came to court, that's how I came. I did everything they told me to. In 11 months, The judge said, wait a minute. I've been on this bench for 20 years running this program, and I ain't seen nobody do this thing like this man here. As far as I'm concerned, we can sentence him because the charge is still open.
Right.
But I'm telling the probationary lady, I'm not copping out to nothing. She said, cop out, I got your back. That's the first time I really trusted a woman.
That's real.
I told the judge, he said, how you plead? I said, I'm guilty, Your Honor. And she stood up and said, Your Honor, I don't recommend no more than 30 days probation. And as far as I'm concerned, he can call me one time and I'm going to close this case. The prosecutor was standing over there. He shook his head, yeah. And the only reason why he agreed to that was because every time I had to come to court, he would be in the courtroom. So he seen the progress. He seen the footwork that I was doing.
Yeah.
Right? So the judge said, okay. He said, and I'm going to suspend all fines and court costs. You are a free man. Wow. That Christmas, I got a Christmas card from the judge. January 5th, I get a letter from the courthouse that wanted to start a whole new program and wanted me to be a part of it.
What?
But I turned that down because I wasn't staying up in that town. I left. And that's how my journey started. I had the determined idea that I was done. I'm not coming back. I'm not drinking no more. I'm not doing drugs. I'm not doing nothing. I've been doing this for like 19 years now.
So that was the turnaround too.
That was the turnaround to where I'm at now.
Okay.
You know, and sometimes, right, we have to humble ourselves.
Right.
Especially you have to understand something, right? As a black man, when you are in prison and you come home, you already got 2 strikes against you. 1, you black, and 2, you got a felony. So your mindset is, how am I going to get ahead? Who's going to hire me? But look at me.
Right.
So
I got a question. I'm going to take it back just a little bit, right? This drug crack, man. I'm a 70s baby. Mm-hmm. And, I've seen it all. In our era, we mostly sold drugs. But like all my uncles and family, I guess that's when it first started really hitting the streets. It came out, and I just watched how it destroyed a lot of families, man. Even us, like chasing the money, that's a drug in itself. But I never understood, because I guess I've never had nothing take a hold of me like that.
right.
What is it about it that just grabs you and just make you where you can't walk away from it? Like it just, I don't know, man.
So let's go back to
Do it put you in a moment.
Right? What is that thing that?
Let's go back to that question about 1,000 footsteps versus the 1.
Right.
Now let's refer that to the crack. 1 is too many, and 1,000 is never enough. It's the first one that's gonna knock you off your behind. It ain't the kilo. It ain't the half ounce. It's the first hit that's gonna take you off running. Because what you have to understand is, right, once you take the first hit, anything after that, you ain't gonna get that same feeling as you did when you got the first hit.
Right.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard that's, you chase it.
You chasing.
And you keep
And then when for you dealers, right, when it started being a drought in New York, up top where we from, they started cutting it. Mm-hmm. With speed, baby lactose. That stuff had you chasing. As soon as you hit it, you get a little freeze, but now it had you chasing and chasing all night. It's like you chasing a mystery, something that ain't there.
That's wild, man. I always wondered, because I seen so many people just leave their family.
Yeah.
Leave their family, leave their wife, their husband, their kids.
steal from them.
Sell their body. I mean, I've never seen nothing so serious. I've never seen an era like that yet to this day. But
look, I have a part in my book, right? And it is what it is with me.
Right.
Ain't no shame in my game.
Yeah.
My dad always told me, Whatever, son, whatever you're going to be in life, be the best at it. So I chose to be the best crack smoker I can be. I came home Christmas Eve one night. Christmas Eve, family all sleep. I knew how to get in the house. I come through the back door, everybody sleep, all the gifts underneath the tree. I unwrapped all the gifts, wrapped the empty box back up, and took all the gifts and sold them to get high. That's how bad it got for me.
How old were you? Damn.
I was in my 30s.
Why would you rewrap the
about
gifts?
40. Huh?
Why would you rewrap the gifts?
That's what that monster was telling me to do. wrap the backs back up. Wrap it back up. And, yeah. You know, it got so bad for me, man, and my meal, I was bumming, if I can bum $1, for real. If I can bum $1 off the street, I was good to eat. So while you was eating a big feast at Thanksgiving, I was eating a 25-cent little Debbie cake, a 25-cent bag of Dipsy Doodles. I had 25 cents for my Huggy juice, and I had 25 cents for a loose cigarette. So, and I survived off of that for like 6-7 months. So every time I went to jail, you ain't arrest me, you rescued me.
I hear that.
That's my story.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. And I get it. I'm stumbling over my words right now because this is something I like to ask a lot of people this because, you know, at what age did you realize, like, that either it was, what type of trauma took you there? What did the trauma come from, childhood or just life out there in the streets, moving around different?
I'm going to say life in the street. It wasn't no trauma for me. I can honestly say that. The life that my mom had for us, I thought that was corny. See, we had the house with the picket fence and all that. And we wasn't allowed to go out the gate to play with other kids.
What that sound like?
You know what I mean? So I'm like, this is corny.
I couldn't go nowhere.
So I wanted to go out on the block where all the happenings were. And I seen everything going on. So I was like, okay. So I seen, my uncles, they always had the gaiters, the suits. That's what I wanted.
Yeah.
See, that's perception.
Yeah.
When I was able to afford it, what did I do? I made it my own reality.
Right.
Wow.
A lot of it is learned behavior.
Right.
A lot of it is peer pressure. But a lot of it, like you said, and I'm glad you said that, it is trauma.
Yeah.
It's trauma for a lot of people.
Yes, sir. I'm glad you said that because
I was out there chasing cars down like I was a German Shepherd.
Chasing the mailman.
My mom would tell my sister, go out there and see if that boy alive. She said, yeah, I seen him out there walking the beat like he a cop.
A mother's love never goes anywhere, though.
Yeah, mom, and Allah has had spared my life. Mom is 94.
Good.
Still here?
She's still here.
Oh, wow, that's
She
great.
told, my mom told me, I'm not leaving this earth until you put that book out.
Oh, wow.
And that's what I did. And she's still here. And,
No, that's right.
me and my mom is very close. I don't care what I did. Not my baby. No, and I'm guilty as I don't know what.
The mothers, man.
But you know what? I'm so ever grateful that I'm in a position in my life today that when she calls, now I don't see her all that often because she's in Jersey. I'm here in Florida working.
Right.
But I sense it. I don't care what it is. I make sure my mom is okay.
Mom.
So
Feels good.
I was
Put money
I was
in
the worst
your mailbox.
child.
So, through your journey, man, what would you say was your lowest point? Just the absolute lowest, the bottom for you.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think I had a physical bottom. I had a spiritual bottom. Because I've always had loved ones, like my nephew that you met.
Okay.
Then my other nephew that was supposed to came down. They made sure that I was okay in the streets.
Okay.
But that spiritual battle is more painful than the physical. Because you can recover from the physical.
Right.
But when you're talking about something on a spiritual level, you know, that thing is deep rooted in there. That's that internal thing.
Yeah, help on the outside, not the inside.
There you go.
Yeah, man.
There you go.
First of all, I just noticed something. I see you got this Eagles jersey on, man. What's going on, man? We know y'all won. What's happening?
Come on, you know I got to represent up top. Got the butters on. You know, when I got to show up, I got to represent. I got my butters on.
Hey, know. Man, congrats to you, man. We coming.
Butters up top is like a pair of gators.
The Buccaneers coming. You know what I'm saying? The Buck Nation on the way. We'll get it right next year. All right. As you can see, man, we got your book on display here.
Yes, I appreciate that.
AWOL from Society, Unchained, Finding Freedom in the Concrete Jungle. That's powerful, man. What you mean by that?
AWOL from Society. AWOL is a military term. And I know that term very well because I was AWOL plenty of times. But AWOL means absent without leave. So from Society with that book, and I took that title, it's like the song by the OJs. The OJs made this song, Your Body's Here With Me, but Your Mind Is on the Other Side of Town. AWOL from Society. You would see me in the physical, but my spirit was AWOL.
Running rampant.
Right. Finding freedom in the concrete jungle. The concrete jungle is very important because a lot of people thought that the concrete jungle was the place where I got high at. No, the concrete jungle, unchained, was my mind.
Before that concrete jungle, you ain't had no fear? Like, what does fear mean to you?
Fear means
at the time.
At the time, F everything and run.
Okay.
But see, fear goes hand in hand with denial.
Right. F is
and when you break that word down, denial only means don't even know that you lying.
Right.
So I lived a false, my perception was so screwed up, I stayed in denial. Right. Like I could stand in the mirror and I done knew that I lost 25 pounds from smoking crack, but you couldn't tell me I did.
Right. Still just walking around like this.
Walking around like this, sucked in. Looking like Pookie.
I still see that to this day.
I was the butler. I was the butler in the crack house.
That's real. So, it was a part of the book that really stood out for me. And with this Man Up 365, we're trying to uplift the fathers, man, and help turn the families around and bring positivity back to the households and union. I seen where your father wasn't really in your life, man. How important or how devastating was that? And, maybe your decision making and the way that you decided to move in your life because you didn't have that male figure or that father. Or were you even missing that?
I'm glad you finished it off with that. Was I missing that? Mm-hmm. I wasn't missing it. And we're going to go through that whole process. And I'm going to keep it real short and quick. I had a stepdad. But him and my mom never married. But he was in our life from the time I was born till at least I was late 40s, maybe 50s.
Wow.
But it took the death of one of my brothers. I lost 5 brothers and 1 sister. Right?
You lost?
Yes. And I remember I was living with this young lady down South Jersey. My brother passed away. I get the phone call, and my baby sister, she she know how I get riled up about that. She said, your dad there. And I said, well, you better clear the house before I get there. And my mom know how I am. And she told him, listen, because him and his wife was at my mother's house. They waiting on me to get there. We go to the church for the funeral. And she told him, listen, you and her better leave here, because when he get here, I don't want that in my house. So I get to my mom's house. We go to the church. So when I get in the church, I knew exactly who he was, because I knew every face in the church but that one face. And I looked, I said, yeah, that's him. And I didn't say nothing to him. Nothing. I was out on bail. So after the funeral and all, I had to stay home a couple of weeks, and I had to turn myself in. He came to see me on the visit. So the first time I really talked to my dad, I was in jail. I had a brother that I've never seen before. We met in jail.
Wow.
That was his son, yeah, my brother. We met in jail. So when I talked to my dad, you know, like, he was like, well, they call me and say, Anderson, visit. I'm sitting there playing cards with the OGs, and I go out on the visit hall. I knew who he was because I remember the face. So it was him. And he said, man, he said, son, I understand how you feel. He said, I didn't know my dad when I was a kid. He said, but I can tell you this. I knew your every move in life. I knew everything you ever did. And I really didn't pay that no mind. So I get back on the block. OG's like, who came to see you, young buck? I said, my dad came to see me. Hell with that nigga. And old head was like, what's your dad's name? And I told him my father's name, and he like, you need to get to know your father. I know your dad very well. He's a great man. You know, but at that time, you know, I'm older now. Right. See, one thing about prison, when you're doing time, it's one or two things going to happen. Either you're going to do the time or the time going to do you.
Right.
I matured more in prison than when I was on the streets. See, when I was on the streets, I was on vacation. When I was in prison, I was home, because it was a revolving door for me. And that means I started getting institutionalized. So when I started playing the tape back, you know what I mean, it was like, I remember my stepdad telling me something, and I ain't like it. So then I got rebellious. Right. You ain't my dad.
Oh, yeah.
So I finally come home. One thing my real dad always told me, like, you ever need me, you call. You know, I needed him.
Right.
He's a goat. Yeah. He traveled that desert. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And he showed me that.
I understand.
You know, so
I understand.
My dad, he's still alive. My dad is I'm trying to get him back to Jersey. He's in Kentucky. He's 89. So and we had the best of times. You know, I remember one day he had to call me for something, and I didn't even hesitate. I didn't have no attitudes. Well, you ain't did nothing for me. Why? It wasn't none of that, because I was, you know, I had matured.
Right.
In prison. You know, so it's rough though, because, you know, like you said, men up.
Right.
And we're trying to teach these brothers how to be men again.
Right.
But in order to do that, you got to man up.
Right.
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 So when I man up, I'm laying all my cards on the table. Right. So when you come through that door, the mask must come off. You gotta take the mask off.
Yeah, right. That's right. You
can't come up in here with all of that fly Gucci shit. We need to come up in here butt ass naked.
Yeah. Butt bookie.
Booty butt naked. And lay it on the table.
And get to the real
because
business.
that's how you help. That's how you get your help.
Right.
I want to ask you. I want to ask you something. Going back to a word you said about being in prison, and most of us out here in this world, some of us haven't been to prison, but we still live an institutionalized mind state life. Right. You know what I'm saying? How did you come out of prison institutionalized? And this is like a two-part question. And if and when you did, how did you get past that part?
I don't think that I was institutionalized, but you would know that I was in prison.
Okay.
And my mate sometimes she be like, yo, CDSD or whatever they call that, because I'm a neat freak.
Right.
No, for real. I'm a neat freak, but I don't think it's me. Now, it's just me.
No, they say that's a disorder.
And I ain't the doctor. I don't have the answer to cancer. But my mom raised us like that.
Yeah.
I couldn't go out there. If my room was out of order or that house, listen, my mom was in this organization called the Elks. Right? Mm-hmm. Her and my stepdad. My dad, he's a traveling man.
Yes, sir.
All my sisters, they all stars. So
my family.
When they would come home from those events, and I'm talking about like 1, 2 in the morning, and we ain't washed them dishes, my stepdad would take all the dishes out the sink and put them in the bed with us.
Damn.
Yeah. For real.
That'll make you wash it.
So, you know, and that's just like learning at home.
Right.
Like if I come to your house, I'm not going to dirty your house.
Right.
I'm going to be respectful in your house. Yeah. You know, and even in the military. So basically, it's discipline.
Right.
Even when I was in the military, same thing.
Yeah.
So when I went to prison, same thing. How I live today, the same exact thing. Everything folded up neatly, rolled up socks, suits, all the plaid suits on one side, the solids. Yeah. So, but no, you can be institutionalized. You know what I mean? Put it this way. The prison system is not designed today for brothers to come home, or for anybody to do the right thing. See, when I was doing time, you could go to college.
Right, you can come home with a degree.
You come home with a degree.
That's right, yeah.
We had a barber school that set 30 chairs.
Wow.
I worked on the farm. I milked cows. Yeah. I know how to pasteurize milk. I know how to deliver a cow baby.
Jack of
all
trades.
that.
You jack of all
I know how to
trades.
milk a cow. And I'm from the city. I know how to milk a cow.
You a country boy now.
So, you know, no, there's a lot of people, man, that's institutionalized and their mindset. But then a lot of you have to understand this too, right? A lot of people that was on drugs and went to jail for a long time, they might not can't get the drugs, so they go in there playing crazy, and then they start getting on that Thorazine.
I saw a couple cases like that.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, I saw a couple cases like that.
Then you start doing that Thorazine shuffle.
Yeah.
Walking up and down the hallway with the pillow over your head and don't even hit the wall.
It's only one I seen.
No, for real.
It's only one I seen bounce back from that.
Yeah.
Only one.
Yeah.
It's our family.
Yeah, so, you know, this is what Men Up is about.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
When they come home, we have to show them. But we need some experience.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. What better person to tell somebody or try to show somebody the way is a person who lived it and been there, and that's living it.
Facts.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, so
that's very important. Very important. So, once again, you know, I stand on 10 when it comes to this fatherhood. I got to go back to this.
Mm-hmm.
How important was it to be present in your kids' life? I mean, you seemed like a good stepfather, but
I don't have no kids.
Oh, you don't have no kids?
I don't have no kids.
I thought I seen somewhere where it said you had 2 kids or something like that.
That was part of the book. I don't have any kids.
Oh, okay.
You cool with that?
You
I
don't
mean,
know?
at the
Just
time,
you want
you know,
none,
I mean,
yeah.
I could tell you the story why, but you know, the story with that was when I got high, I wasn't thinking about no woman.
That's real.
Right.
Yeah, that make a lot of sense. That make a lot of sense.
Roscoe didn't work.
Yeah, that make a lot of sense. Yeah. Yeah, that thing made
okay,
Roscoe.
okay.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, that
so
Yeah, you
and
okay.
then you know,
All right.
with the times I was in prison
All right.
and all
Right.
of that, you know what I mean? So it just wasn't happening.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then now where I'm at in my life today, I ain't just going out here going to get no young girl, just have no kids. I ain't doing that. I ain't doing
Good where you at?
that. I'm
Yeah,
good.
Right.
It's that
You
good
know,
space.
I have I have a large family.
Right.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of nieces and nephews that look up to me. So those are my kids.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
You know,
Nothing wrong with that.
I guess it just wasn't in the cards because, I mean, when I played the tapes back on my life, just imagine if I would have had some kids, I wouldn't have been in their life. I'd have been in prison.
Same situation.
I'd have been stealing their candy money to go get me a hit.
You had some little people mad at you.
Yeah.
Hey, God, know what
and
you're
I
doing.
didn't want I didn't want that because you have to understand that just because I changed my life around don't mean that you're going to accept it.
Right. That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know.
All right. Well, hey, I understand that. So I guess I got this to ask you. Big time superintendent. What is that about,
Yes,
man?
sir.
What's going on with this job, man?
Safety guy.
I don't, how many of us involved in that kind of work? And that plateau of, you know, that height?
On this particular job,
Yes.
me. I'm the only black project superintendent on your beautiful Howard Franklin Bridge in Tampa, Florida.
Wow.
That's something to salute.
The only
That's
black.
something to salute.
Yeah,
right there,
yeah.
boy.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
But I started, you know, I started from the bottom. And that's another thing that we can encourage brothers that's coming home from the penitentiary. You know what I mean? Because our mindset, I ain't going to no McDonald's to get no job.
Right. I feel
I chose construction. You know why? Because I didn't have to lie on the application.
That's real.
You know why? Because the unions was formed by the mafia, and they all crooked. So they wasn't going to judge me for what I did.
Right.
And I started as a labor, pushing a broom and a shovel. And I just stayed with it.
In the same industry.
Same industry.
Let me ask you, not superintendent, right? Not on the bridge. That's you like a bridge inspector.
No.
No?
I run crews
You run the
that
show.
build the bridges.
Oh, you keep people in line. You making sure things move,
Yes.
running smooth.
he the boss.
Yeah, the big boss.
He tell
So-
the bosses what to do.
You know people in like different areas, different states who do the same
Oh,
thing?
yeah,
You know, do a name, Renell Johnson, ring a bell to you?
Depending on what states. Like
He here in
did-
Florida.
No, this is my first job in Florida.
Oh, okay.
I done
okay.
from
That's my uncle.
Virginia,
Yeah.
Jersey, New York, Maryland, Atlanta. I've been all over doing.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was doing things like
what,
that.
What I do.
Yeah, telling me he'll shut a job site down. I'm like,
Well, if he's an inspector, yeah, he can.
Yeah.
He ain't lying about that.
I know.
Yeah,
I was
Yeah.
like, how you do that?
Yeah,
You
no,
know what I'm saying?
he can. They got the power to do it.
You do that too?
No,
Okay.
we do the actual building
Building. Okay.
of the bridge.
Oh.
So it's like a chain of command. You know what I mean? So you have your foremans, assistant superintendents, senior superintendent, up to your executive.
Okay.
So I fall in as a project superintendent. I have a senior superintendent.
Yeah.
There's only one senior superintendent on the job. He's over all of us.
Okay.
Okay.
But I just rose to the top. One thing, when you come off them streets and you determined and you ain't drinking and drugging, I'm always get a good job because I'm gonna pass the piss test.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
I'm gonna pass the test.
ain't nothing to be afraid of.
Right.
And when I'm tired in the morning and I don't want to get up, I think back to when I was running them streets when that drug dealer would tell me, "Wait right here. I'll be right back." And he don't come back to the next day and I'm still standing there. So when I want to be saying I don't want to go to work, I better get some gratitude with my damn attitude.
Right. That's some good words right there.
Yeah. I'm going to steal that.
Off top.
I'm going to use it in my meeting with my barbers.
So also, man, we recently met and became really good friends, man. And I talk about you a lot, bro, because I'm proud to know people that have been through something and came through it and bettered themselves and became really good people in life, man. And you have done that, bro. And just me looking at your accomplishment, man, I'm proud. I'm proud to just know you, bro. And I want to salute you. You know what I'm saying? That you doing better than people who never had an addiction. You know what I mean? Like, it's amazing. You know?
Some of the strongest ones.
I just have to salute it. But one more question for you, man. You be mentioning this 2%er thing to me.
2%er.
Yeah, and I'm kind of you say we 2%ers.
No.
What you say?
5%ers.
5%ers, 85%ers.
I'm saying it wrong. I'm trying to get us a little closer to the top. What you mean by that, man?
Those that
So
know.
if you take the number 100 and you break it down, so you got your 10% who knows the truth but want to conceal the truth.
Speak.
Those are your judges, your lawyers, people high up, politicians. Then you got the 85% of the population of the world, or we consider them as the blind, deaf, and dumb. They don't know the truth.
Yep. Speak, brother, speak.
And then you take the 5% who we are the poor righteous teachers.
Speak.
Who know who the true and living God is.
Right.
Who teaches knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to all human families of the planet Earth. So we are a branch off of the Nation of Islam. We don't study Muslim lessons. The father of Clarence X-13 Smith was a Muslim. He was in Temple Number 7 in Harlem, where Malcolm X was. And he took it to the streets, changed his name to Allah, and started the 5% Nation. And he taught 9 brothers, who was the first 9 born. And each one of them brothers was to go out and teach 9 more.
Yes, sir.
And that's how our nation grew.
Yes, sir.
Right.
What's today's mathematics?
There you go.
That's heavy.
So, it's a way of life.
Yeah.
Islam, when we talk about Islam, we talk about a way of life.
Yeah.
We're not talking about religion.
Right.
You want something to happen, you got to get up and make it happen.
Man, talk to me.
People talking about pray about it. You got to get up and do something. How can you go pray for a job and you ain't been nowhere and fill out an application? This is action. It's all about action.
That's right.
Because we are great manipulators of the truth.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm teaching my kids that right now.
Yeah.
Homeschool.
Action. You have to put the footwork in. Anything you want in life, whether it be your mate, your relationship, job, whatever. If we the man and we the head of the household, you got to put the footwork out there. We got to get on our grind.
See, that car won't move until you...
It ain't going to move. Because here's the hit, right? If you want your mate to follow you,
you got to move.
you got to be that light.
Oh, that's tough. Yeah.
It's just like the sun. It look like the sun is still out there.
Right.
It just settled.
Right.
Yeah.
It's on the other side.
It's just like when you look in the ocean, when you look at the water, you think the water is blue. You would tell me it's blue. The water is not blue.
It's reflection.
That's the reflection from the sun.
Man.
What color is
It's called
water?
ether.
Come on.
It has no color. It's the reflection. It's ether that's in the sky. So when that sun is shining, it reflects off of it,
Takes on.
and it appears to be blue. So if you want to go deeper, blue is the color of what? Deceiving. And that's where you hear them folks talk about the blue-eyed devil. That's another topic.
Watch out. I like it.
That's another topic. But no, man, I appreciate those words, T, man. When I first met you, I'm like, okay. And you said what you had going on. Well, once you said helping people,
Right.
say no more.
Right.
Say no more, because this is what I'm about.
Right.
See, you have to understand something about folks when we talk about helping people, right? everybody ain't with this.
Right.
Because they can't benefit from it. They ain't gonna receive a paycheck. Folks want you to jump their ass in the middle of the ocean to help them, but they won't jump in a puddle of water to help nobody else out.
That's real.
I don't understand that, man.
See, nobody charged me a dime to help save my life. All I had to do was be a willing participant.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You got to show up for you.
Right.
I got to show up for my mate. I got to show up for whatever's in her life. And sometimes you got to show up for some people who don't have nobody.
Yeah.
And that's where your blessings come from.
Right.
Helping people.
Helping people.
Yeah. Like Nip said, that's the brightest jewel that a human can have is inspiration.
It's inspiration.
Yes, sir. And how you got so much inspiration, man. Well, let me put it like this. I ain't finna say you reminded me of me. But I can relate to
Pretty
you,
close.
big dog. Yeah, pretty close. I can relate to you. I can relate. I can relate.
Right,
you know, and how did you become to be so transparent about everything?
I was just true to myself.
Yeah.
I ain't got to be true to you.
True to you.
I need to be true to myself. It's to thy own self be true.
To thy own self be true.
Because people lie to you all the time. I come up in here and lie. But guess what? In order for me to lie, I must have known the truth first, because the truth comes from a lie. A lie comes from the truth.
Yeah. Tenfold.
That's all. When I look in that mirror, who I'm looking at?
Thyself.
I'm looking at myself.
Yeah.
Because see, I was always good to fault the women.
Right.
This relationship don't work. It was her fault. So now she put me out, and I'm telling you some true stuff now. I ain't just making some stuff up.
I like doing that.
She done put me out. Now here I go with my garbage bag, with my clothes. I done talk to another one. I done bagged her, so now I done moved in with her. This ain't working. Now I'm looked up, I'm at door number 3. And I've asked myself why I keep going through this. And I looked in the mirror one day, and I seen my own reflection in the mirror, and the mirror said, because the same damn man keeps showing up.
Yes.
So it wasn't them. I had to look at me.
Straight up.
I had to look at me.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't focus on, I don't care who's zooming who, I don't care. Don't come with me with that popcorn, Willie. I don't care. I'm staying in my zone. The rim.
Stay in your
my
lane.
360-degree rim.
Yes,
and the people that's in my circle.
Right.
And that's it. I don't care about nothing else.
Right. Well, hey, man, I appreciate you spending time with us.
Oh, yeah,
Sharing the story.
anytime.
Make sure y'all get out and get this book, man. It's a real book.
Again,
I loved it.
AWOL from Society,
AWOL from Society.
Unchained, Finding Freedom in the Concrete Jungle. Go on Amazon and get ready for next year. We're coming out with book number 2 entitled, Am I Changing? Oh, pardon me. Go ahead, T. The title will come back to me.
AWOL from Society.
I forgot.
Unchained.
Hey,
Finding
boy.
Freedom.
We'll get to it.
Oh,
We'll get to
I
it.
got it.
Okay.
Nope.
Finding Freedom in the Concrete Jungle, baby. It's a
What's in
good
this
read.
water?
It's a good read. We done took him back. That's why.
Hey, once again, I appreciate you, man. And,
Oh, yeah, anytime, brother.
when you get that next one out, come see us, brother.
Oh, no,
You know what I
it'll
mean?
be out. It's deep.
For sure.
Next one
for sure.
is deep.
I got one more thing I want to do before we close out. I want to make a toast.
That's right. Somebody have an anniversary.
Yes, sir.
27 years.
27
Yes,
of them.
Ooh, I couldn't get 27 minutes with nobody.
So I want
That's
to
a milestone.
let's pull one up and have a quick little toast, man. I just gotta represent the situation for a
I was
second.
AWOL. Hey, brother. It was a pleasure.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Anytime.
sir. Oh, man. Tigo. Congratulations to y'all. I guess I sit. You want to sit down? I'm going to sit down by you. Sit down by your hood.
Go ahead. Get y'all toast in.
Okay.
You got to say a speech now. You got to make it real romantic. Matter of fact, move that chair and get on one knee.
Wow.
Let me see if you still got it how you did it 27 years ago.
I think he had.
You done ran out the back door.
Probably.
This guy right here.
Hey man, it ain't much of nothing, but he pulled us something.
Yeah.
I want y'all to come have a toast with us, man. Come on
Let's go,
over here.
man. Let's get this toast.
That's what I love to see right there.
Oh, that's so cute.
Can I get y'all over here with us?
Yeah, I ain't touching that bottle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can put this
No, thank you.
No.
What you got though?
You don't want me to drink that nothing here.
Yeah. Okay, good. I'll take some of that water. Nah, yeah, that's all it is.
Look,
Yes, sir.
you about to give me a drink. You don't want to do that.
He didn't hear the interview.
I'll take a drink. Anybody up in here getting butt ass nigga, I'm robbing everybody up in here.
I'm just gonna hold the door so you can. I'm gonna hold the door so you can leave. I'm just gonna hold the door open for you. Pause.
All right.
You gotta say a speech,
Ready?
T.
Yeah,
I ain't
what
really got
we
no
doing?
speech. I ain't really got no speech, but let me hand you these right here.
Thank you, baby. Oh, 27.
It's been 27 years. There ain't much I can say. You know everything about me.
Yes,
I know everything about you. I want you to know that I appreciate your honesty, your love. I appreciate your grace, and you gave me time to mature. You know, we've been together since we were kids. I met you at 15 years old.
Right at churches.
So we had a lot of growing to do.
Yes.
And, you know, I'm blessed to have you still by my side. My kids, all from one household.
Yes.
My new grandbabies.
Grandbabies.
This is the life that I've always dreamt about. And to see it come to light, this is amazing to me. And I want you to know that I love you beyond words can express.
I love
I don't have the words to say, but I just want you to know that my mission in life every day is to make sure you smile.
That's right.
Make sure you happy.
That's right.
And I will continue to do that. And where we are right now as a couple, if it get any better than this, I don't know if I can handle it.
Oh, you can handle it.
I don't know if I can handle it.
For 27 years and beyond, yes.
So I just want you to know I love you dearly. And if I got it, you got it. If you need it, I'm going to go get it.
That's right. Come hook or crook.
To 27, baby.
Congratulations.